Hello and welcome back. Last week saw the return of Amazon Prime Day and I bet a lot of you managed to get some really good deals. This year I was able to pick up, amongst others, a PlayStation 4 Pro for a really good price. Now, not just any PS4 Pro, we're talking the 7200 model. This is the new quieter one that doesn't sound like a jet engine taking off every time you switch it on. And at the moment the only way you can get this model is if you get the Red Dead Redemption 2 bundle. The arrival of the PS4 Pro meant that I can finally put the regular PS4 into the gaming room, while the Pro model can sit comfortably underneath my 4K TV in the living room, taking better advantage of the display than the regular PS4 could. It should also improve PSVR games, making them smoother, clearer, and generally improving the overall experience with the extra power that it brings. How much does it really improve it? Now, I've seen many people try and show the difference between the regular PS4 and the PS4 Pro when it comes to PlayStation VR, but I couldn't see much of a difference to justify the upgrade. I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it a go with 3 of PlayStation VR's popular titles, and we're going to compare it with the regular PS4 to see what the differences actually are. Hello fellow gamers, and today we're going to be comparing PlayStation VR between the regular PlayStation 4 and the newer model of the PS4 Pro. The first title we're trying out here is Gran Turismo Sport. I'm showing you footage here of what I was looking at on both the PS4 and my PS4 Pro, and this is probably the easiest game of the 3 to show off any differences. So we're going to start off on Tokyo Expressway, and straight away on the regular PS4 I noticed that everything was a touch on the soft side. It was almost like I was nearly able to focus on everything, but just not quite. Mostly though, when there's a lot of movement like in a racing game, that's not really going to be a problem. When you compare this directly with the PS4 Pro, everything's a touch sharper to the eye. Even the dials on the dash were clearer. Now, I know I'm not going to need to look at these all that often, but when I do, it's nice to see them appear clearly. Even the rear view mirror was sharper on the Pro. There were other small details that can be seen, such as the extra detailing under the bridge here, and the railings here on the left, whereas both are bare on the baseline PS4. Oh, I've got to be honest though, I didn't even notice these details when I was playing through for the first time. It was only after watching this footage back side by side where I was able to pick up on these details, so don't think you're missing out just because you don't have the Pro model. The next track I tried was Brands Hatch, located in good old England, and oh, driving around on this track, even though I'm in a German sports car right now, this couldn't feel any more British. Well, unless I could salute the Queen while crossing the finishing line, or have, I don't know, a McDonald's milkshake at hand to throw out the window at an unsuspecting politician. On this race, I held back so I could see the detail on the opponent's car, pictured here as a Aston Martin DB11. Watching it, I could see that the edges were just a little softer on the regular PS4 compared to the Pro, and again, the dials in the car were a bit sharper, and they were easier to read on the Pro. But other details, like the light shining on the bonnet, is no better. It still seems to occur about half the frame rate as the rest of the game. In general, the performance improvements you get in the headset is certainly noticeable. I don't consider it fixing what the baseline PS4 failed to do, but rather enhance everything just a little bit. The game works just fine on a regular PS4, and I've even had many hours of fun playing it, but every improvement I consider welcome. Next, I wanted to touch upon Res Infinite for a moment. This is a VR remake of the original Res game that came out in 2002. Now, many declare their love for it on the Dreamcast, but I'm more partial to the PS2 version, mainly because that's the one I bought back then. As you can probably tell, it's a musical on-rail shooter game with a Tron-like theme to it. But when I found out that there was a VR version of this game, it was music to my ears. Pardon the pun. But anyway, Res Infinite is a case where it's very difficult to showcase the difference between the PS4 and PS4 Pro. When you look at everything here side by side, there's really nothing between them to be seen. It's only in the headset where everything is noticeably sharper using the Pro, and movement felt more fluid as well. But again, if you were to play this on a regular PS4, it all still works just fine. If you were to pause this video and nitpick, you could say the PS4 footage is slightly softer, but with everything moving all around you, it's difficult to really tell any difference here. I can only report that the only differences here are in the headset, and that is the problem with trying to show off any improvements when it comes to PlayStation VR. When you're trying to capture the footage, all you can get is what's being sent to the TV. Most of the benefits are inside the headset itself and aren't necessarily noticeable on the TV footage. So I suppose you can see why it's difficult for anyone on YouTube to convey the actual difference between the two. For much of it, all you have to go on is what they tell you. Skyrim VR is another example of how difficult it is to showcase any improvements between the baseline and Pro PS4s. I'm just having a wander around Whiterun here, and you can see the visual differences on the Pro they're only slight. You can probably see the differences better when you look at, say, the roof of the Drunken Huntsman here. You can see the textures themselves aren't improved, but everything is a touch sharper on the Pro.
Sometimes I miss the soldier's life.
The brickwork around the city is also a touch sharper compared to the soft detailing on the regular PS4. We're now stepping outside the city limits, having a closer look at this horse here. And again, there's negligible difference to be seen here. Taking a stroll down towards the Hunningbrew Meadery, there's a very marginal improvement on the draw distance, but again it's nothing that you're really going to notice unless you have the headset on. Some details are a tiny bit sharper on the Pro, but you're not going to notice any night and day differences here. Again, the real difference I was able to see is in the headset itself. Overall everything was a touch sharper and a bit more fluid compared to the original. Unfortunately, it's just something that doesn't portray well on the TV screen. So let's say you've got a regular or slim PS4 and you play a lot of PlayStation VR on it. Is it worth upgrading to the Pro model just for VR gameplay? I won't lie. From what I've seen, the overall VR experience on a Pro is noticeably better compared to the regular PS4. But to upgrade just for the VR? I'm going to say no. Even though the picture is a touch on the soft side, PSVR works fine on a regular PS4. And if you're enjoying it already, then it's very hard to justify the 300 quid for the upgrade. You also need to think about other factors as well. Are you using a 4K TV? Does that TV support HDR? Do you have PS4 Pro enhanced games in your library already? Are you trading in or selling off your existing PS4 in the process? If your answer to all of these questions are yes, then the upgrade should be worth your while. On the other hand, if you're wanting to get into PSVR and don't have a PS4 yet, you will get better results from a PS4 Pro. But anyway, I'm not going to take you away from your VR gaming any longer. Thanks very much for watching, and if this video helped you, be sure to like and subscribe as that really helps me out. And I'll catch you all next time.